Alrighty, so let's do a little bit of loosening for our neck and shoulders to begin with. So if you can, allow your head just to drop, so chin to chest, and then looking up to the ceiling, and drop your chin down, and then looking up to the ceiling, and do it again, so you drop down, and back up, and then just placing your hands here around the back of your head, and drop your chin down and apply just a little bit of pressure at the back of your head there. And then release. And I want you to drop your head over to one side. Like your ear has gone heavy. And then to the middle. And drop down to the other side. And to the middle. And as you do it, just closing your eyes. And as you keep that action of dropping, just set an intention for the session, thinking about how you'd like to feel by the end of the session. And as you drop the other way, just applying a gentle pressure here. So use your hand just to pull down, let your head go heavy. Breathe deeply. And release, and let's do that over on the other side. Pull down, breathe deeply. And then we're going to roll the shoulders. So we come up, squeeze, press down, rising to your tiptoes and dropping to a flat foot. So rising and then dropping. Breathing in and breathing out. In and out. Squeeze your shoulders, and then turning the shoulder roll into an arm circle. Spreading the fingers out, sweeping back with your arms, opening your chest. Nice big circle. Do it one more time that way, and then reversing. So we're going to sweep back, squeeze the blades, scoop forwards. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rocking now on the feet, so you go onto your tiptoes and then rock back to your heels. So forwards to your tiptoes and then backwards into your heels. So you're going through a full sort of range in the foot as you keep going with that circling action in your arms. Just testing our balance. And then opening the arms wide, we're going to bring our knee up, side, round, up, side, and around. And point your toes as you do it. See if you can do it without putting your foot on the floor, but welcome the wobble. You get some height on that knee. And then reversing back in the opposite direction. You grow an inch taller, so you lengthen up through your posture. And release the arms. Let's do that on the other side. So knee up, side, and around. Gradually see if you can increase the range of the circle. Creaky hips on this side of the screen. And let's reverse back. Lengthening up through the posture. And last one. And then if you can, bring your arm like this with your palm facing down. And then like this. And you're going to wrap this one here. And bring your hands together like this. You sort of tie yourself up in a little bit of a knot. And then a little lift until you feel a pull around the back of the shoulder. Breathe into it. Just rounding your upper back slightly. Notice which elbow is on the top. And then if you can release and switch around. So now the other elbow is on the top. Lift. again, just rounding through your upper back slightly. Lift the elbow just a little bit. And let's release. And shake it out. Okay, so from here we're going to take our feet a little bit wider and turn out through our toes. And then we're going to bend into the knee as we push the tailbone back. And let's switch over to the other side. So you bend your knee and push back through your bottom. And do it again. Maybe just going a little bit wider with your feet if that feels like a good place to be. Now you can either stay with this version or notice now we're adding a bit of twist, bringing one hand down and lengthening the other arm up for more advanced. So we turn and reach, looking up towards the top hand, and turn again and reach. Breathe. Do that one more time on each side. Alrighty, and then from there we'll leave our hands in the middle, and I just want you to push your heels out. You straighten your legs and drop your upper body down so you're looking at the world from a different angle. Just relax your neck, your shoulders. Just let your body weight rock back to your heels slightly to open your hamstrings. Breathe into the stretch. And from there, if you walk your feet in, and we're going to come up to standing. Okay, good job. So let's move down onto our backs. Have a drink if you need some water. And we're going to move into doing some core exercises. So if you can join me down here. Now I'd like you to do a little tuck. So you're going to bring your knees up, tuck, and then tap. Try to lift your bottom off the floor. So you're mobilizing your lower back. Level 2, we'll do it with a rock up to a seated posture, and then we'll roll. Can you keep your toes lifted off the ground? Level 3, extending the legs. Now you can either stay with level 1 or 2, or level 3, reach into a V. We're going to do that 4 more times. And final one. Okay, well done. So from here, moving to side plank. Place your elbow down. For level 1 start position, get your knee in front of your hip. For level 2, we're gonna bring your feet back. Jean's asking, how do I unfreeze my screen? I think maybe just, you could, I don't know, try doing your video button on and off, see if that works. So we're gonna lift up and then down. If that doesn't work, Jean, you could try logging off and I'll let you back in. That's the other option. So big sweep with the top arm, reach and come down. Or more advanced, we do the straight leg version. Oh, I think that's cleared it, Jean. Well done. We've conquered technology today. That's always a win. So we're going to do this 3 more times. And then from there, if you can have just a little roll of your shoulders on the ground, and let's give that a go on the other side. So level 1, we've got the knee position in front of the hip. Level 2, we've got the knees back. Or third option, we'll do the straight leg version. So choose where you'd like to start. Nice big sweep with this top arm. And each time you come up, try and squeeze and make a fist with that bottom hand. And think about stabilizing your shoulders. So you press the blades down as you lift through your hips. The more advanced version, we do it with a straight leg and then lower. So following the hand with the eye gaze. Let's do that 3 more times. Strength conditioning down the side of the body. And final one. And then coming down onto the back again. Sliding the fingertips into the curve of the lower back. Pulling the belly button muscle in, so we've got a little bit of pressure on the hands as we extend and tap for level 1. Or level 2, we'll start here with the knees at 90 degrees. The third option, we'll do it with straight legs, foot starting above the hip. Flexing the feet and then pointing the toes. So work your feet on this one now, as well as your core. Flexing and then pointing quite firmly. Get your feet in on the workout. Last couple. A final one. And then if you can bend your knees and just place your hands here on top of your knees. Close your eyes as you circle your knees around. So circling the knees and just massaging the lower back against the ground. And reversing in the opposite direction. Alrighty, and then from here we're going to roll over to our front. And if you can find a position with your hands here down by your side. My thumbs are attached to the mat and my pinky is up in the air. So we're going to press the pubic bone and the pelvis down into the floor as we just add a little bit of lift with the chest. So we're in a sort of a human dart shape, and then lower your forehead back down. So lifting your chest, and as you do the lift in the chest, I want you to squeeze your buttock muscles towards each other and press your shoulders down your back and then lower. So all good strength conditioning for our back muscles. Inhaling on the lift up, 2, 3, exhaling on the way down. So for first level, we'll keep the thumbs just lightly against the ground and they sort of slide down and then back 2. For next level, we're going to add more lift with the arms, so we get some height with the arms, and we'll let the pinky lead the way up towards the ceiling. Now, if you've got a strong, happy, healthy back, we'll add some lift with the legs as well, clipping the heels together and then coming back down. So we're breathing in, squeezing the heels, holding for a few seconds, and then lowering back 2. So choose your level. We're going to do it 4 more times. Aiming for some height. Normal for it to feel fairly tough by the last couple in the set. So final one. And when you're done, if you could meet me back here in our child pose. So we've got the knees open, lengthening the arms forwards and resting our forehead down. Breathing into the belly. we stay in the child pose, we're going to wriggle the fingers forwards until we feel a bit of a pull under the armpit. Pressing the palms downwards, spreading the digits out so we've got a little bit of pressure on each finger pushing down at the same time as pressing down through the palms. Breathe. And relax, coming up. And if you can find the downward dog next, so we're going to hook our toes under as we lift, holding the downward dog. Breathe deeply into your belly. How are the calves feeling today? We're going to alternate a little bit of mobility in the feet. We're going to flex the toes on one side and then transition, flexing the toes on the other, pressing the heels down. Breathe. And then switching over to the other side. Breathe. And let's do that again. Breathe. And one more time. And then if you could take a walk with your feet towards your hands, so you're folding your body into. And then as we just sort of hang down here, if you could get hold of each elbow like that, we're going to rock our body round to one side, swing through the middle, and rock around to the other. Sort of swinging the upper body. I always feel like I'm an elephant's trunk at this point. Such is the imagination. I'm just going to do that one more time on each side. And then as you come up, I'd like you to place your hands here on your knees like this. This one's for Rodney, so we're going to circle the knees down and around and then back in the opposite direction. So we go down and around and then back the opposite way. Let's do that again. And if you can do it twice more. Final one. Okay, so now's a good time to grab a drink. So let's keep topped up, play a bit of catch up if you've not done well on the hydration. I feel like I'm playing catch up today. It's been a busy day. Then you grab some weights next. Okay, so find some weights that will challenge you slightly. Do a little bit of squat training. Work on our strength in our muscles and our bones. Ideally, we want to be doing 2 or 3, ideally 3 bouts of strength training a week to look after our bones and our muscles. So feet just slightly wider than our hips. We're going to soften our knees. And just to start with, I want you to think about your posture. So as you drop down, then you get your knee just to sit over your smaller toe and then lift back up. So just letting your weight hang down and aiming for some depth, 2, 3, and then lift. Adding in a little bit of lift with the weight towards your shoulder and then release. As you come down, can you pull your belly button in a little bit just to give your core a switch on? For level 2, we're going to come to here, but then push the weight in front of the shoulder, back in and release. For level 2, we'll extend forwards. For 3rd level, we'll go into an overhead press. So we're going to lift up, arms by the ears, and then release down. So let's do that again. We do that 4 more times. Breathe. Being mindful of your back posture, avoiding your back going into too much overarch. Let your tailbone lengthen. So 2 more. Breathe. Keep your body weight back in your heels. Final one. And relax off and give your legs a shake. Well done. So pop your weights down. We're going to meet up in a wide foot position. And we're going to turn our toes out over this side as we angle in over here and switch into a triangle pose. So going long with the top arm, turn your palm to face front. We're going to turn our nose up towards the top hand. Deep breath. Now that may be enough of a stretch for you, particularly if you're not quite there yet on your ankle. If this is getting easy now, next level, I'm going to bring that top arm down and I'm going to touch it behind the ankle bone and rotate. So I've now got the other arm up at the top. Breathe. And bringing the top hand down, bending into the knee and sliding the back foot away as we go into our warrior pose. Stacking the shoulders above the hip. Gazing off down the middle finger as we sink into the pose. Breathe. Just coming back to that intention that we set at the start of the session. Straightening the leg. We're going to turn and move into our triangle pose over this side. So long with our top arm. And you stack your arms one above the other. So if you can see yourself in your screen, try to bring this arm over so it's stacked above the other arm. That's it. And turning the eye gaze up towards that top hand. Now sometimes just playing around with the angle of the back foot, pushing the heel out a little bit more can initiate a bit more stretch. So exploring that. So for those of you doing the more advanced version of this today, we bring that top hand down, place it on the outer ankle bone, turning up with the other arm, wobbling optional. Breathe. Using your eye gaze to steady your balance. And then as we come back down, we're going to bend into the knee on this side, taking the back foot just a little bit further away. And on this thigh, can you get it so it sits parallel to the ground or thereabouts? Sink into our warrior. Breathe. Eye gaze towards the middle finger. Alrighty, let's release and give the legs a shake. So some balance work next. Take a stretch first. So if you can get a hold of your foot behind and bring your heel towards your bottom. If you can see yourself from a side view, check, is your knee in front of your other knee, or can you get your knees together? Heel to the bottom. Is your posture upright? Squeeze your buttock muscles. Now you can either stay with this version or try adding some lean, keeping the heel on the bottom. Wobbling optional. And let's give that a go on the other side. So catching hold of the foot. Heel towards the bottom, hopping optional. And again, once you've got it, leaning into it, or wobbling around all over the shop. And let's release. So similar theme, but this time with a straight leg out the back. And we get some height on that leg. And we go horizontal with it, taking the opposite arm forward so that arm is up by the ear. We're just going to hold for a few seconds, reaching through the fingers and into the toes. Let's give that a go on the other side. Extending the leg, leaning into horizontal. reaching the opposite arm forwards, holding for a few seconds, and then transitioning to the other side. So let's do it again. Now, if you've got that nice steady balance, you could test it by bringing the top arm down and just touching the ground. And then back to horizontal. Make it your own test of balance today. Let's try that on the other side again. Use your eyes, look at something still. Breathe. So again, once you're in that horizontal place, just tapping down to test the balance. And let's release and give the legs a shake. Okay, well done. Has everyone got a foam roller? We find a foam roller? Alrighty, so we're going to come down and use our roller to do some core work. If you place it like that down your mat, you can do it without the roll as well. Just got one other. Okay, so opposite arm and leg extending whilst you're lying on the roll. Just kind of get used to it. You steady it. And as your hand comes down to your side, just being light on your fingers. Level 2, we try it here with the knees at 90 degrees. Now you might just do the straight leg without the arm to begin with. And then if it feels doable, taking the opposite arm away overhead. Try not to leave nail marks in your floor. Breathing useful. And we do that twice more. Final one. And resting off, and we're going to roll off our roll. Well done. So then we'll turn the roll around, aiming just about halfway down the back. And hands here as we're going to lift the bottom and just foam roll from the middle back to the upper back to massage around our shoulders and our upper spine. Might close your eyes at this point and just kind of get into having a little bit of a dig around, a little mini massage. Breathe. Alrighty, and then from here we're going to pop our roll to one side. And I'd like you to come over to all fours. And allow your chest to lower your body down to the ground. And then push the ground away. Now you can either do this version today, where we've just got our knees on the floor and we're lowering and lifting. Or I want you to do it like this with your toes hooked under here and your knees off the ground. Lower, lift, lower, lift, and then find the downward dog. So we're going to hold in the downward dog, breathe into the belly, and then it's up to you. Either you can drop your knees to the floor or just slightly hover them, chest to the ground, push back up, find the downward dog again. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. Let's do it again. Bend your knees, lower the chest, push back up, into the downward dog. Breathe, relax your shoulders. Let's do that one more time. Bend your knees, lower your chest, lift, and find your downward dog. We're going to jump our feet towards our hands and come to a seated position. Sliding the body down, tap the head on the floor, and lifting the body back up. Now, if you need to, you can use a strap under your legs to help lever yourself if needed. So level 2, we'll do it hands-free like this. The tougher version today, as we come up, we're going to hold it here with the legs hovered, place the feet down, and then do the roll. Coming back up, hover the legs, let them come down, and then roll. For more advanced, V-sit, straight leg, back down, and roll. And we do that twice more. So final one. Alrighty, so coming down onto your back. Let's give our glutes a good stretch. So if you can pop your right leg over your left and place your hands just here at the back of your thigh. Use your hands to pull the leg in. Breathing deeply. As you do that, noticing where you feel it. Use your elbow to push your knee out. Close your eyes for a moment and just sort of thinking back over the month of March, what you've achieved this month. It's been your mini win. Perhaps it's a physical breakthrough or just focusing on a new habit you've been trying to cultivate, or just re-implementing an old one. Alrighty, let's release and we'll give that a go on the other side. So hands around the back of the thigh, pulling in, elbow pushing out, and again, just closing your eyes. And one of the things I'm encouraging people to do who are working with us over the month of April is to join in our steps challenge. So all you've got to do really is track your steps. And I think what's really interesting about doing that is how often people's game improves just by tracking it. It's amazing actually how it works by just focusing, that daily focus. It can really kind of up the game. So consider joining in with us on the steps challenge this month. Alrighty, so from here, we're going to release off and I want you to rock up. We're going to move into doing some hamstring stretches. So as requested by Anna, we'll have one foot forward, one back. And I want you to use the edges of your mat to really get your feet parallel like that. And then squaring up your hips. Now, if you can see yourself on screen, see if you can flatten your back out. Often the back will sort of round out, but I want you to sort of flatten your back, so you'll need to lift your tailbone, feel like you're lifting it towards the ceiling. We're just applying a gentle pressure here on the front leg, on the mid-thigh. That's it, so mid-thigh, really open your chest as you do it. So you sort of stick your chest out to the ground. Breathe. And then I want you to bend your front knee and bring your opposite hand to the floor as you take your other foot backwards like this. And then turning the upper body, reaching up with the top arm, but allowing your hips to drop down a little bit. Deep breath as you hold. Straightening the back leg, pushing the ground away with that hand on the floor. you to bend your back knee. So your back knee just drops down, and unhook your toes at the back, making your arms wide like this at the side. Allow your hip bones to sort of drop down and forward that way. Now you can either stay with this version, or for those of you doing more advanced, catch hold of that back foot. Now, I'm conscious some of you are on a wooden floor. It may not feel as comfortable as my nice studio padded floor. So if you need a bit of something under your knee, pop it under. Heel towards the bottom. Breathe. Let's release the leg. And where did we start? So yes, hamstring on the other side. So if we line up using the edges of the mat again, and to lean forwards with our hand just resting on the front thigh, squaring up the hip bones, breathing deeply. So again, if you use your screen, how is your back looking? Can you open your chest? Just applying a little bit of pressure on that middle thigh. Breathing deeply. And then from there, bending the front knee, opposite hand to the floor as you take your other foot backwards. Straight leg at the back. As you turn towards your front leg, lengthening up with the top arm and pushing the ground away with the bottom hand. It's really splaying the fingers out on the hands, feeling the connection with the ground, lengthening the back leg away, softening the hips. Breathe. And allowing the back knee to drop. Opening the arms, unhooking the toes at the back, and sinking the hips down forwards. More advanced, if you can get hold of the foot behind, heel tucked in. It can get a bit wobbly, so that front big toe needs to sort of sandwich down to help balance, be steadier. Of course, balance is also about the practice. Breathe. Alrighty, let's release. And if you can come to a cross-legged position now. Cross-legged doesn't sit well with your legs, then you can always open your knees. That's absolutely fine. I'd like you to place one hand just here on the top of your head. Notice now I'm going to turn my head towards that arm and slide the chin towards the armpit. Back of the head now, pulling down with the hand. Breathe, relax your shoulders. Let's release. Placing the other hand just here on the top. Turn, slide the hand to the back of the skull. Rock the chin in and down. Relax your shoulders and breathe. And release, sliding the hands around the back of the head, drawing the chin to the chest, but staying lengthened in the spine. Pressing down. Breathe into your belly. Breathing out. Reaching the fingers forwards, hands quite wide, dropping chin down, wriggling the fingers forwards, breathing deeply. Inching the fingers forwards just a little further. Breathe. And a little bit further forwards. And then sliding your hands back in. So if you're doing the crisscross leg version, then if you can bring this leg and place it over the top. So you've swapped them around. And lengthening your spine. And then if you can pop your hands wide again, chin down, breathe, nudging the fingers forwards, breathe, and just going that little bit further forwards, feeling the stretch, breathing into your back, edging forwards, just enjoying a good old stretch. And sliding your hands back in, and then coming to rest down on your back. Well done. So just placing your hands on your belly, closing your eyes. And allow your body just to sink down as we relax. Noticing the sounds around you. Noticing the more distant sounds. Back of the head sink into the mat. Just visualizing any little bits of tension from the muscles around the face or the eyes emptying out. Relaxing the jaw. Softening the tongue. Letting your attention settle on the breath, expanding and emptying. Coming back to that intention that we set earlier on in the class today. Noticing how you're feeling now. Has your energy shifted since the start of the session today? With that energy and that feeling, taking a moment just to appreciate that time, energy and effort that you've put into your practice to do this today. Running your attention down through into your lower back and imagining any bits of tension emptying around your back or your hips or your pelvis as you rest. Take a moment just to be relaxed in your body. I want you to let your legs just straighten out against the ground and go a bit floppy and a bit ragdoll-like in your feet. The legs sort of flop and hang loose. I'd like you to take a moment just to set the intention of your practice for the next few days. Just scanning through your schedule and thinking about what you'd like to do activity-wise to keep your energy in a good place. It's going for a nice walk or doing some more of this stuff. Perhaps it's changing around some of the things that you're eating, setting some boundaries with your workload. Just getting out in nature a bit more. Getting that umbrella up. Allow your attention to drift. I'd like you to give your toes a little wriggle. So just wiggling your toes around and then lengthening your arms up. We're going to circle through the wrists like this. And then circle the wrists back in the opposite direction. And then if you can flatten your hand like this, as if you're trying to push the ceiling away with this hand. And then like this with the other hand, you're going to pull your fingers backwards, keeping the arm lengthened, stretch through the forearm. And then with that same hand, rather than pushing the ceiling up like this, we're going to flip the hand over the other way and we're going to pull the fingers down as if we're trying to pull our fingers towards our forearm. And let's release, pushing the palm up towards the ceiling on the other side. And pulling the fingers back towards you, lengthening the arm. Breathe. And switching the fingers down the other way, pulling the fingers towards the forearm. Breathe. Alrighty, so we're going to roll over to our side. So when you feel ready, if you can have a little check-in. So I'm just going to share the music. I hope that's made a difference to your day. How are we feeling?